I'm going to move on to the question about Admiral Bob Papp, who mandated the creation of a Coast Guard history course. And as you were saying earlier, you know, with the core curriculum review, cadets already have a lot on their plate, and this was something that was mandated, I believe, for all fourth class coming in to take? Or do you have...
That's the way we...
Okay.
That's the way we addressed it, yes.
Can you just talk a little bit about the course? I know that the first one was it this spring or last fall?
Last fall.
Last fall. And just how it's being received by cadets and the process of creating it, because I know that you kind of pulled it together pretty quickly.
Yes. The process of creating it, well, I guess I would start with that. Certainly, if you look at the fundamental purpose, it's a very strong purpose that is really embedded in Admiral Papp's honoring our profession thoughts about how really we in the Coast Guard need to have a better understanding of the very unique chronology of the Coast Guard from, you know, as the oldest continuing seagoing service. And there's never been any argument that having a course specifically in Coast Guard history is a really valuable aspect of any cadet experience, and it's something that really all officers should be able to really have a really working knowledge of. The way that course is configured and the way we addressed it was that it's a single credit hour in the fourth class year. And so the course consists of 14 meetings, and it's taught by a cross-section of the faculty, not just, say, history professors. There's a representative from each of the academic majors that teaches it. And that's a really important aspect of sort of the force multiplication of the knowledge. You know, it's not embedded in a single department. It's not an expectation of someone of a specific major, whether they be a student or a faculty member. So the idea is to make the exposure as broad and deep as possible. It's organized, the course itself is organized by mission area rather than chronology. In many cases you can pick up a history book and it starts sort of at the beginning chronologically and ends present day. Here this is organized by the different mission areas of the Coast Guard, which I think gives the cadets a real broad understanding, and the faculty who teach it a real broad understanding of where we came from and how we evolved and continue to evolve. It includes a library session, also a session in the museum, and a walking tour of the academy and looking at specific artifacts. I think that's a really important piece of it. That a lot of this history is locked into some of the things that we still have. I think the library piece of it is especially important because we really focus on information literacy for the incoming cadets who are just barraged with information, so much more than any generation before them. So the ability to identify information, assess its quality, and use it for them, and document it for them is a much more difficult task than it was for, I'll say, me and others who are a little bit older. So it's sort of it satisfies a great deal of I think, a great number of objectives we're trying to achieve. I will say that cadets believe that's a tremendous amount of work for a single credit hour, and I do not disagree with them. We are continuing to refine what it is. We've worked very, very hard to provide the materials in the course. We have a D2L website that's very extensive. We've generated a couple of faculty members who specifically have put an incredible amount of time into a tailored reader for the course, and it's a fabulous course. Again, that the cadets think it's a great deal of work. What I would say, and what I have said to some of the cadets, is think about what it does for you, not only in the classroom for that credit hour, but for your ability to get through your indoctrination and professional knowledge that in many cases harkens back to the history of these mission areas and platforms. So it's a lot of work.
Well, I think
it's fulfilling, or beginning to fulfill its purpose.
Right.